What up, guys? Back at it again. Anime and beer. We talk about the latest manga,
comics,
anime,
movies.
So you name it. Crack open a cold one. Let's dive in. You already know what it is. Hey, you better cheers me, bro. If you guys haven't seen it yet, oh my god. Spoilers are ahead. Spider-Man No Way Home movie review and theories. How'd you feel about everything?
Spider-Man No Way Home was a masterpiece. It was an absolute masterpiece.
I cried.
I love. Well, my tear ducts don't work, so I can't.
I know you got that toxic energy.
Yeah.
I cried,
but
inside.
I wanted to cry.
I cried inside.
You know.
It was like a passing of the torch. I feel like it was like them kind of being like, "Hey, it's you now, bud."
But you know what happened though?
What?
You know what Kevin said?
What?
Everybody was like, "Spider-Man is taking over the mantle of Iron Man." Kevin said, okay, No Way Home.
Yes. pretty much.
No,
So if you guys haven't seen the movie yet, I mean, obviously cut us off, go watch it. I know there's a bunch of spoilers and leaks and things like that. We've been, the holidays, everything, first video of the new year, anime and beer. We're just super, super excited to talk about it.
Well, we respect the fact that the movie did recently drop, but we have to talk about it.
We have
to ride the wave.
We have to talk about it. I mean, this movie.
Once again, click off.
Spoilers.
We are how far in? We're a little over a minute in. You should get the point by now.
I mean, this guy right here. First of all, before we dive into the movie, I want to say this guy right here.
What I do?
Just does not want to. He gets mad when we go on our movie sessions, our dates. I said it, and you get so mad at me because I'm like, I have nobody to go with this movie to see this movie with, and you're like,
that's a lie at this point.
That's not a lie. We saw Black Widow together.
Who'd you went to go see this movie with? It wasn't me. Because this was your second time.
So what? I saw it twice. That's how beautiful it was. But anyway,
and I still haven't gotten over it.
Can I finish? Can I finish? I still saw it with you. Anyway, like I was saying. This guy won't let me fucking, I'm like, bro, we gotta go see the epic movie to close out the year.
I was gonna see it when it hit DVD. Or HBO
Don't let me go sit you in the corner right now. Anyway, like I said, this movie, it was really good. I mean, if you haven't seen any of the Spider-Man movies, shut us off and go watch all of them.
Yeah, I was telling a buddy on Facebook, I was like, this definitely gave You Had to Be There vibes. If you really weren't there, and
Agreed.
It was like you said in the movie, there were kids. I mean, granted, yeah, if the kids grow up like Spider-Man, I'm pretty sure their parents popped in Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3. But theoretically, they weren't there for that.
They weren't. I mean, even when me and you went, it was because we grew up with all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were there at the theater and we're watching them, and we're like, dude, none of these kids even know who these actors are. And majority of them were little kids when Tom Holland started, or they caught the end of the Andrew Garfield movies.
Yep.
And yeah, spoilers, all three are in. I mean, they are. But how they did it, I loved how Doctor Strange was involved. I have heard some critics get a little bit upset about the mind erase spell theory. And people were saying it wasn't needed, but I also get why they did it, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie, honestly, how it played off, and I love the plot armor they did too, in the beginning, because in the beginning, where, they confiscate all the Stark Industries stuff, and, he doesn't have access to it. But, there's another theory, how you sent me the meme or whatever, how everyone forgot. People forgot about it, but did the technology forget about it? Can he go back later, say Robert Downey Jr. wants to come back and do a cameo, can he come back later and still be recognized by the Stark Industries system to create a suit or to get its help? Because that's how he helped the Sinister Six in the movie. He was using Stark Industries.
I mean, when I sent you that, I really like that idea. I mean, I like your idea too. You know, the suit. All of them made their suit.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the idea that, you know, when everybody forgot about Peter Parker, you know, it's kind of like he burned himself.
In a way, yes. Yes,
You know,
yes.
So let's say even... Well, I see what you're saying. You're saying, well, that's technology. It's not a person. But who runs that technology? People.
Yeah, or
So
AI.
I'm pretty sure, you know, they ran down that database.
plot armor.
Who the heck is this Peter Parker? Yeah, delete him.
It's plot armor. It's plot armor. At the end of the day, like, the theory is that people have forgotten, but the technology hasn't. So my whole thing is like, forgetting about it, because even then, you know, someone also pointed out that Jonah Jameson still has recollection of it. There's theories that people still have files of it being Tom Holland's Spider-Man at the end of the day.
Mhm.
And in the movie, what I loved too was Tom Holland never really got to overcome any adversity as his own Spider-Man. He never got to become into his own Spider-Man until this movie. And erasing the fact that he needs to distance himself. Toby did it alone, tried to get people involved, didn't work out. Andrew Garfield, Spider-Man, tried to do it alone, of course. The Gwen Stacy thing, insert that clip now. But, you know...
I will not.
But what I really loved about this movie was it was Tom Holland becoming his own Spider-Man, and you know, when they all got to meet, I really loved their screen time together. I really loved how they all interacted with one another, and I also thought it was super OP that the Iron Spider hacked Doc Ock's tentacles.
That was pretty cool.
And you know, that would make sense because in the comic books, Peter Parker meets Iron Man. He joins the Avengers. That's one long storyline, you know, but we live in the real world where contract issues can conflict with different things going on. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, it was Tom Holland just got in as Spider-Man at the right time, but closing out as him becoming his own Spider-Man, that's what this movie was.
Yeah.
I really, really enjoyed it. I love the detail. I paid a lot of attention to the Easter eggs. I did my research on the web. I mean, you know, how they played the OG Tobey Maguire Spider-Man background music. I was like, oh, they're pulling all the stops with this movie. I was just nostalgia. And William Dafoe, shout out to him, bro.
Boy, he got in it like he never left.
Mm-hmm. He got in there, was doing his own stunts, whipping Tom Holland's ass 3 floors down, 3 floors up, like, oh, Peter. I was like, oh, he's doing it. He's doing the thing. Like, he put on that psycho face, and I was like, I felt like it was
the
2000.
change. It was just the.
I felt I was like
visual change.
Exactly. I think I was like 7 or 8 years old, but I felt like little kid me watching the first Spider-Man movie again when I saw him come on there and pull his lines out. Like I really did enjoy it. I really did enjoy it, man. And you know, I kind of had a feeling Doc Ock was definitely going to be like a part of the assimilation of them, because when they all dispersed.
Well, Doc Ock really. Well, of course, he was the villain in Spider-Man 2, but morally, and the same with Sandman.
Yeah.
Morally, there was nothing wrong with him. I mean, Jamie Foxx, yeah, he was picked on, he was ugly, he was goofy, he was the nerd.
Yeah.
So that's what caused that change. But Doc Ock and Sandman just wanted to get to his kid.
Yes.
Doc Ock just wanted to finish his life's work.
Exactly.
Which led to, you know, what happened to them within the movies. But other than that, yeah. I mean, of course, I love the fact that Doc Ock was.
Yes, I really, really did enjoy it. But like, real quick. Scale of 1 to 10, what do you give the movie?
I said it was a masterpiece, so 10.
10? I give it a 12. This movie broke the rules. If we're being honest, this movie broke the rules. And, you know, when you watch this, and then, of course, you know, we never got to hear it in Tom Holland's universe. With great power comes responsibility. And then when Aunt May
The way she delivered it,
dude.
they didn't just. Karen Furr didn't just tell her, "Hey, just go out there and just say great power comes great responsibility." No, her delivery with that was well written. Like, honestly, at first you didn't see it coming.
You didn't.
But the more she talked, you're like, "Oh, she's gonna say it. She's gonna say it." And then she just hit it with great, and it just flowed into it, and it was like.
But it had to be his stress. It had to be Tom Holland's stress in that scene, because when he's like being so compassionate with her, because to our assumption, we assume Tom Holland Spider-Man got that speech already.
Mm-hmm.
But hearing it for the first time in his third Spider-Man movie, it was like, oh, this is his resolve. This is him becoming his own Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
This is him becoming his own man. Like, this is, hey, you got to do it now, big guy. And
Yep.
I really, really, really enjoyed I enjoyed how they delivered it. It was very passionate in that scene. I totally enjoyed that. And like him having to see a death for a loved one for the first time, I was like, that's right. He's been so sheltered with the Avengers this whole time. You know, like, he never really had to do anything on his own.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
That's exactly the point I was going to bring up.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, at this point where everything that happened is like, you know, there's no Infinity Stones. There's no Doctor Strange because you left him stranded in the Grand Canyon.
There's no Iron Man. There's no Cap.
There's no one.
There's no one. They're rebuilding the Avengers as we speak, you know? And dude, like, this was the perfect, like, that timing with that was remarkable. Like, they were like, okay, Robert Downey Jr. checked out, Chris Evans checked out. I mean, we got all these Disney Plus shows.
Yeah.
What the French toast are we gonna do with Spider-Man? What are we gonna do with him?
Bring it back to his roots.
We gotta make him a man. We gotta make him a man. And total respect for it. Total respect for it. And yeah, totally. And the theories about Ned being the next Hobgoblin, I'm hearing 50-50 with it. What do you think about it? When they were in the lab and he asked Tobey Maguire and he was like, do you have a best friend in your universe? Because remember, Andrew and Tobey both had their Harry Osborns.
Yep.
Tom Holland did not.
He has a Ned.
Yeah, so he has a Ned. So, I mean, technically in the comic books, you know, the Osborns never really translated to Hobgoblin until different writing agreements and things like that. But it makes perfect sense to make him Hobgoblin. But I'm also hearing 50-50, but I was like, no, man, the symbolism with him. He made sure to say that he wasn't going to be a villain, but also, too, I'm hearing theories that Zendaya might be Black Cat.
Yeah.
But what do you think about that, though? Like, constructive criticism, how would you go about it, though?
I would make Ned Hobgoblin. I was talking to Chuckles last night. He went to go see it last night.
Okay.
He thinks Ned is going to play more so towards Doctor Strange.
Everybody thinks he's going to be a wizard. Yeah, absolutely.
Which is also a good theory. Either or. I mean, KF. You know, y'all call him Kev, I call him KF. He lets me call him KF. You know, this man is worse than Shyamalan. The twist that he gives us.
But he does it so... He doesn't do a dramatic build-up. He does a constructive build-up. If that makes any sense.
It does. It's with so many thoughts out there, I'm kind of conflicted. Would I like to see Hobgoblin? Yes, because that sets up for a lot of other things that can, you know, come from the comic books onto the big screen. You know, we can get the Clone Saga.
I was told Secret Wars is the next big chapter that they want to do.
Secret Invasion, Secret Wars.
That's what I'm thinking.
There's so much that Spider-Man plays into. I'm just a big comic book nerd, so when asked these questions, my mind
but that's why I'm asking you. You definitely have the comic book resume for sure. That's why I'm asking you, part of this channel and everything like that, and for our viewers, you have the resume for the comic books, so you can lay out a little bit more for our viewers. You can lay out a little bit more of a platform for them and kind of see and dissect what the cinematic universe is going to do, if that makes any sense.
Ned has to be Hobgoblin.
Shit, my fault. Sorry.
Yeah. If we're doing that, Ned has to be Hobgoblin.
Why? Why? That's an honest question. Why? This is just we gotta answer. I mean, why? Neutral. I'm neutral here. I'm your co-host.
It's in the comics.
Fair enough.
Unless KF, he lets me call him KF. Unless he's gonna break cycles of the best friend becoming villains.
Do you think that's why Ned made sure to let Peter know, like, hey, I just want to let you know, like,
But see, here's the thing.
Okay, go ahead. We also got an X factor with this movie too, and I want to lay on that too in a little bit before you explain. I do want to lay into that, but just remember we got an X factor in this movie.
Peter promised to come back for them.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't. That's going to lead into a series of events. Can Zendaya become Black Cat? Yes, because of the fact that she had no one to keep her, level. Yeah, she wouldn't go be Black Cat because Ned doesn't have that best friend, someone to keep him excited, someone to have him have stuff to look forward to. He goes on to be Hobgoblin, and Black Cat is very smart. Hobgoblin is very smart. Ned was very smart in the comics. Where did that come from? MIT.
Just about to say, yeah, they're all MIT majors. They're all science nerds and everything like that. They definitely have the knowledge to produce something out of it, and they all go down different paths. I mean, we see it in typical cliche hero stories, but you're totally right. And also
this last thing, the whole thing with Peter, Tom Holland, his whole life, I think his whole Spider-Man run is gonna just be damned if I do, damned if I don't.
I think that's why the role was so stressful for the past Spider-Man. It was because we talked about this on another one of our episodes about My Hero Academia, an anime about kids becoming superheroes. And would you rather be a villain or a hero? And we talked about this, and if you haven't seen it, go watch it. But like a prime example, it is way, way, way more stressful to be a hero. Mm-hmm. It is. It is damned if you do, damned if you don't.
You got to think about so many people. You got to think about strangers, family, close friends. You got to think about across the board,
across the superhero universe, DC or Marvel or whatever platform you want to use. Mm-hmm. At least in our experience, I feel like the hero that's gotten burned the most and have to overcome the most trial and tribulation, okay, is Spider-Man.
I mean, of course, he's a young adult just trying to make it in New York. I mean, who else do you have? You have Iron Man, who's rich. You have Captain America, who's a well-known war hero, and he's Sharon Stone's cousin. If you get that reference, please put it in the comments. But anyway, you have... I mean, the only other person who can really not really feel his pain is Falcon, which we saw in Falcon and Winter Soldier. He's a hero, but at the same time, when he goes back home, he's just a normal guy who has to live off his name and not the fact that he's a superhero.
So what I pointed, I had a friend of mine. Shout out to my boy Brian Reynolds. They're another guys that want to put together a podcast. Hopefully, we can collab with them in the future. Shout out to them. I want to give them their first name. We said it on the show before. But Drunk on Marvel, he's really, really comic book, like fundamentally sound. And he pointed out about Zendaya being Black Cat because think about it, how her symbolism was. She was a damsel in distress but got saved. She gets sick of it. She's sick and tired of working at that bakery shop. She's sick and tired. She's got to pay for MIT. Otherwise, she wouldn't have that job. But look deeper into the symbolism here. You know, and that's what resorts to her start becoming a cat burglar. You know, and it's a perfect gateway to set them up for these characters. And if that's the case, this is also another reason why, you know, like if you're tuning in so far, the post-credit scenes, Tom Hardy's Venom was introduced. And when he left a piece of the symbiote suit behind, this is the first time we're going to see Tom Holland go dark, I feel like, as well.
So you think this is leading to Tom, or you think this is leading to Andrew? Because Andrew, I've heard...
Both. But go ahead, finish what you were going to say.
I was just going to say, they didn't Andrew, I want to say confirm, but it looks to be we're getting Amazing Spider-Man 3.
And he fights Tom Hardy's Venom. That's what I feel like is going to happen. Because at the end of his movie, he moves to New York. Or during his Let There Be Carnage, he moves to New York. He's moving to New York. Andrew Garfield's there. But at the end of Let There Be Carnage, before he moves, he goes to a trip to Mexico. And then, of course, gets warped into that other universe. He's in Mexico there. So he's not in New York. So that's why he wasn't a part of the Sinister Six. But false scripts came out. And they wanted Tom Hardy's Venom to be a part of the Sinister Six in No Way Home. But they were like, we need Venom later.
No, they've already written Venom into a...
They've written Venom into a script, for sure.
No, not really. They didn't write Venom into a villain.
No, but I feel like Venom wanting to test himself against a Spider-Man. And also, too, you know, how Andrew Garfield was sitting there with Tom Holland and Tobey Maguire. He goes, you know, I want to fight an alien. You know, and they reference the aliens, and they're like, "Yo, I want to fight." He's like, Toby's like, "I want to fight an alien with black goo." He's like, "No," he said, "I fought an alien with black goo one time," and he's like, "Oh, that's cool." You know, so you already have a Venom Spider-Man.
But see. But the thing is, see, and I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you did. But go ahead. You got the Venom shirt on.
They've already confirmed. This movie confirmed, canonized. I don't think that's a word, but it canonized a lot of things. Okay, so it already confirmed Venom.
Facts.
For Tobey Maguire's universe.
Mm-hmm.
So this Venom here. Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to say is, what I'm seeing is there's a lot of 2s instead of 3s.
Okay. What? More in depth.
Tom Holland got a Venom. Tobey Maguire got a Venom. Andrew didn't get a Venom.
Yeah, exactly. Tom Holland didn't get a Goblin. But
yeah, Tom Holland did. Andrew and Toby got it. But so it's like everything is in 2s. It's like something. What 2 of them have, one of them didn't.
I didn't think about that. So okay, so they want Toby to come back too. So let me ask this then. So with this movie being the way it is, because they want Toby to come back and do Spider-Man 4, do you think Toby's going to be the first one to meet Madam Web?
I would like for that to happen.
I think that's the best way for him, that he doesn't have to do too much strenuous shit. He's kind of just there and kind of guides the Spider-Verse. And go ahead and make him the original. Go ahead and make Toby the 616 Universe Spider-Man. Make him the original. And then these are the multiverses. And then he has to go around and make sure these multiverses play their part. Kind of like how they've done Xenoverse with Dragon Ball Z. And like let him kind of, you know, it's cheesy, I know, but they're already doing Across the Spider-Verse And that trailer came out. And my whole thing is I would love to see Miguel O'Hara and Miles Morales live action. I'm not mad that they're animated, but it would all come together if you gave Toby a role, I feel like, with that.
Well, if you say that, it may be a thing where they actually pull Miles Morales out of the animations. And when I say pull, I mean that when all these Spider-Mans come forth and it's time for Miles to come through, he's going to make that transition from animated.
We talked about this, yeah. We talked about this. And at the end of the MCU, if Sony isn't going to be a butthead and like let Marvel have him, they're going to do phenomenal things.
It's money, bro.
I know it's money.
They know they're going to do phenomenal things, but the money.
Okay, so look, Spider-Verse should be a series on Disney Plus. Money. Okay? It should be multiple movies. Okay? Money. And my whole thing is Disney's not going to want to cut Sony that check. Sony's very prideful with that. Sony wants to hold out, and I just found out today Morbius is being pushed back again.
April 2nd.
Yeah, it's being pushed back again. But in his movie, shout out to Brian Reynolds again, my homeboy, in the Morbius trailer, the suit Spider-Man is wearing, Tom Holland Spider-Man is wearing, is the movie in the end scene. Is the suit he's wearing in the end scene when he finally wears his red and blue. And they showed that way before, but nobody thought about it. But he pointed it out, and I recognized him when he pointed it out just because of the torso and how everything was, how the webbing and everything looked. It was the OG red and blue. And I was like, because we talked about it with Blade, we talked about it with Morbius, we talked about it with all of that. And like my whole thing is I'm like, so if they're gonna do that, okay, there's a lot of crosshairs. There's a lot of things they gotta do. There's a lot of contracts they gotta do. And you're a multi-billion-dollar company. What's with $1 million here, $1 million there, $1 million there? You're not losing anything. You're gaining so much more. You're gaining so much memorabilia. You're gaining so much more profit. These actors and actresses just want their cut, and then they're done.
It's all about capitalization, man.
I know it's all about capitalization, but
everybody's trying to capitalize.
If we were to get
number they can get,
if we were to get that, but like my whole thing is like humor us. You know, because I told you this before Endgame ended. I said after this, Spider-Man's their money hole. At the end of the day,
you did.
I said Spider-Man is the money.
You did.
At the end of the day, Spider-Man is going to be the bargain for the MCU. And you know what? There's so many things they can do with Spider-Man, and I think that's why
and they're starting with Young Avengers.
Well, yeah, but like Disney made those Disney shows. They were like, we can't make these into movies. It'd be too much. Let's make it into a TV series. I thought Winter Soldier and Falcon was going to be a movie, but if you watch the series, it pretty much is a movie. But Disney had to kind of, marred it a little bit. But like that movie
was awesome.
Which was good. Which was great. But how they promoted it in the beginning before announcing it was a series, it looked like a movie. It looked like a movie. And my man who's supposed to play, spoilers if you haven't seen that either.
They did it with all the TV shows because it started with WandaVision. Mm-hmm. Everybody thought WandaVision was going to be a movie. Like, okay, this now was a TV show. Okay. There's Falcon, Winter Soldier. Okay, this is going to be a movie, like TV show. Okay. Then after that, it's like Hawkeye. Then you got all this stuff.
You got Loki. You got all that
Loki, stuff. And it's like, okay, these are TV shows. Okay.
That's why I'm saying. And I'm like, okay, so hear me out. Like, you log into Disney Plus, okay? Across the Spider-Verse. That sounds like a series. That does not sound like a movie.
Across the Spider-Verse?
Yeah. The Spider-Verse sounds like a series. It does not sound like a movie. And making it a movie is them kind of like still etching this Spider-Man propaganda, And with this movie that we just got, which was still so emotional, and what I also too is I know we're going off a tangent of the movie here, but I love how all these past Spider-Man got to redeem themselves. the references to Andrew Garfield, like everybody he knows, everybody doesn't like him. He got it at the wrong time, and people were like, "Well, you know, he let Gwen die. He didn't let Gwen die." And also, too, fun fact: in the comic book, she didn't bash her head. She actually snapped her neck from the web. He actually does grab her, and when he pulls, that's what snaps her neck. She doesn't bash her head.
Which is what I thought happened in the movie, because everybody would ask you, like, how did she die in the movie? And it's like, she broke her neck. Like, no, dude, if you watch the movie, she's bashed her head. And I'm like,
not in the comic book.
Well, what's the like? Then why they change that?
Why? Exactly. And
whether you bash your neck or you break your neck, that's still pretty gruesome.
It's still gruesome.
And then you smashing your head that hard and
I explained it to my little brother.
There's no blood or anything.
Yeah, I explained it to my little brother. Like,
no
honestly,
hemorrhaging or anything.
At that height and that velocity, and I explained this to my little brother. I was like, on that velocity and that height,
her face should have, her eyes,
her whole back of her head should have blown out.
Not only that, because when you hit,
all that impact
is going to come.
It would have been way more gruesome. So, and also too, Tobey Maguire stopping Tom Holland from stabbing William Dafoe with the glider. The symbolism with that, like, I felt that, because Toby was trying to redeem himself.
Let me ask you this, because I told some of my thoughts on that.
Okay, go ahead.
What do you think his redemption with that was? Mine, the way I saw it was,
he wanted to
whether he realized whether he killed Green Lantern or not, he got nothing out of it.
Green Goblin.
Green Goblin, whether he killed,
we just lost 5 viewers because of that.
Whether he killed Green Goblin or not, there was nothing that came from it.
Well,
he would have rather spent that time trying to help him.
But what did William Dafoe tell him though when he got stabbed by the glider?
I forgot. You know how long it's been since I seen Spider-Man?
Don't tell Harry.
Yeah.
And he had to hide that, and that's what created the resentment. And then, of course, him not telling Harry, you know, we got that series of movies because he never told Harry.
And a snitch butler ended up telling Harry,
"Yeah,
when I cleaned your father's wounds, I know
it was from the glider." And my whole thing with that is, like, you can't be mad about those movies. And you know, it was such an adult Spider-Man at the time. We were so young. We were like, what? 7, 8. We were between 7 and 10
Spider-Man
years old.
1 came out when I was in elementary school.
Yeah, I want to say 2002.
Spider-Man 2 came out in...
The last one came out when we were in middle school.
Yeah, near the end of middle school.
Yeah, the last
because I remember getting... No, that's Spider-Man. Okay, yeah, like middle school.
The last one came out when we were, like, in middle school, but, like, yes. The Spider-Man 2 was still one with Tobey Maguire. I will still go back and watch that one. That was the best one out of that whole set. Spider-Man 2 when Doc Ock debuted. Out of Toby's set, Spider-Man 2 was the best one. Spider-Man 2 was the best one. Well, lay your thoughts out.
I prefer Spider-Man 3. 3, 1, 2.
3 was a confusing mess.
It was not. And for the people who said that Venom looked horrible, that Venom, there was nothing wrong with that.
That looked more like Venom than the Venom we got now. I will agree. I will agree with that.
CGI started getting better, so of course.
But also
CGI.
Too, like,
but I don't know. I like
personally. Okay, I'll give you this. I'll give you this. That Eddie Brock is how Carnage should have been, and Let There Be Carnage.
Are you saying Woody Harrelson did a bad job as Carnage?
Woody Harrelson did a bad job as Carnage. Did not do a bad job as Cletus Cassidy. Because they are the same person. That's how Carnage should have been. He should have been Spider-Man 3's. Have
you read a Carnage comic?
Yes.
Apparently not. Because he did a great job as Carnage. I don't know what you're talking about.
But them making them so the same in the high pitch, and then they made Cletus Cassidy sound like he was gonna they made that Carnage sound like he was gonna be a jazz player in a blues band. Like, come on. He was so deep for it. If she does it again, I'm gonna kill her if she screams. No, he sounds like a maniacal psychopath.
That's what he's supposed to sound like.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No,
Cletus Cassidy was a maniacal psychopath and
he was like, I don't give a shit. Let's fucking kill everything. That's how Carnage is supposed to be. Carnage is just.
So what are you saying? He wasn't psychotic enough, or what are you saying?
They nerfed Carnage, bro. They nerfed Carnage.
Okay, well, say that. I agree with that.
They nerfed Carnage.
I agree with that. Say that.
He should have been just.
You went around the block and through the city just to say that. See?
Like, okay, so I'm gonna give you that only because of your comic book knowledge. But I'm telling you right now.
No. If you're saying they nerfed, I did say that watching the movie.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm like him kind of being all like, no. Like Cletus Cassidy is Carnage, and vice versa.
The way I would have ended, let there be carnage, and it piggybacks his Nerf comment. That should have been a one-sided fight.
But that's my whole thing. And so
it should have been a one-sided fight with Eddie Brock tucking his tail and running with Venom, and then the whole spell should have happened. Eddie Brock went to Mexico, whatever. Come across Spider-Man. Fights Spider-Man for a while. Comes across Carnage again. Runs back into Spider-Man like, bro, I need your help. Like, he's whipping my ass, I'm whipping your ass, you're whipping my ass back.
So
now I go back, meet him, he's whipping my ass again. Like, dude, we got to do
so this is my whole thing with the movie, though. At the end post-credit scene with Tom Hardy, and he leaves a piece of the black symbiote behind. That also is a gateway for Carnage to come over into Tom Holland's universe.
Yeah.
Tom Holland hasn't faced a crazy villain yet. He has not. We have not seen him. We saw his back against the wall a multitude of times, but he always had help. So that's what I'm saying. Tobey Maguire goes and meets Madam Web. Andrew Garfield finally gets to fight his alien. Tom Holland finally gets to be dark. And at the end of The Amazing Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland, or whatever you want, Spectacular, or whatever you want to call him, whatever title of Spider-Man you want to call him. At the end of it, he rips the black suit off. We get our Eddie Brock, but we also get our Carnage, or we can get our Flash Thompson, whichever one.
Well, yeah.
I know you don't like that actor. I know you don't like that actor who plays Flash in that. It's the Spanish kid from Dope. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I know.
I would prefer Flash from Tobey Maguire's universe. Because for those who don't know Flash Thompson's story, you know, he was Spider-Man's bully. That was a thing.
That is canon, yes.
He goes off, joins the military, gets hurt. Can't remember how. He doesn't lose his legs. For some reason, he's losing his leg keeps popping in my head. He doesn't lose his legs. Well, maybe he does. I can't remember. He ends up finding the Venom symbiote. Some amazing things happen. He becomes anti-Venom and things like that. He ends up dying, saving Peter Parker. You see, so many stories in there. So many stories.
I'm listening to you. That's why I'm asking. I got you.
I need you to understand what I'm understanding so that you can understand that we understand.
I'm listening.
Spider-Man is a universe all its own. You don't need phase 1, 2, 3. You just need phase Spider-Man.
So obviously with Hollywood,
with cameos,
yeah, with Hollywood making this production thing kind of like everywhere, you know, with money issues or just contract issues or whatever the issues we're speculating. So do you think, like, what would you like the end result to be?
The end result to Spider-Man, there's never any end.
Yeah.
There won't be an end to Spider-Man. Spider-Man just gets resolves. He doesn't get happy endings.
He does not. Like we said before.
He gets, pretty much with Spider-Man, what happens is, okay, I'm Spider-Man. Oh man, I can't do this and date MJ. Oh wait, I found out I can't do this and date MJ. Oh man, me and MJ decided to break up and be friends. Oh, but that works for me too. Oh, now I met Black Cat. Oh, I fell in love with Black Cat.
I did see.
Now Black Cat and MJ are best friends. Oh, look, I have my girls, so I'm good. Oh, I found out that my best friend is the Hobgoblin. Oh, well, I guess I just have to live with sending him to jail because he understands me, I understand him, and I'm cool with that. Oh, man, they cloned me with the Clone Saga. Well, I guess I just have to teach my clone son how to do Spider-Man like I'm doing in the Beyond comics. Oh, now my son, pretty much the end result is going to be his clone taking over. If it goes that route.
If it goes that route. But
his clone is going to end up taking over. That's pretty much because every Marvel movie ends with that main character dying and someone taking the mantle. Pretty much. You know, we got Black Widow. We got her sister taking over.
It's going to take over the MCU.
Well, it's going to be Miles. But either way,
it's got to be Miles.
It's perfect
money. It's perfect money.
To put it in simple form, they're killing off the OGs.
Okay, so let me add too. Is if we're gonna kill off this main person, what about these side characters? Because also too, Andrew Garfield never got his MJ.
Yeah, got Gwen Stacy though. Same.
She was my MJ. I get that, and that was an emotional scene, especially when he redeemed himself, saving MJ, Zendaya, in the Spider-Man No Way Home movie, but he never got his MJ.
I'm just gonna be honest, MJ doesn't play an important role.
She doesn't.
She's just that token girlfriend.
Doesn't, but that's all the more reason why he gets the black suit, he redeems himself, and then you close off the Amazing Spider-Man story. He gets the happy end. Tom Holland is gonna be the one with all this adversity that he has to overcome. He does not have the Avengers in. He does not. They don't know who he is. He's Spider-Man, but no one knows who Spider-Man is. And Nick Fury, also in the movie, who ghosted him since the last time he was one of the alien race that they were camouflaged as the end of Homecoming. And with the green, and
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I forget their names.
Secret Invasion.
Yeah. Exactly.
If I yell out the name, you'd know why.
They weren't
Skrulls.
Skrulls. Yes. So they weren't there. They weren't there. So even Nick Fury has to go back and re-recruit him. But you know why they're not going to go re-recruit him?
Because they know who Spider-Man is. They just don't know it's Peter Parker.
If anything, Nick Fury might know, but he's going to get the black suit, and he's going to be Ultimate Spider-Man who works alone in those comic books. Remember, he keeps the symbiote suit. Mm-hmm. If they were to play that role, then that whole Spider-Verse would be just as dope, but also, too, you would have all the spectrums with it now. You would have all the spectrums going into the Secret Wars and everything like that. If you were to play by the comic books, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, if you were to give anybody the black suit and let them keep it, Tom Holland's the only one that never had his own suit. Everybody else made his suit. He got the Sorcerer suit, he got the Iron Spider suit, which everybody loved. We got the Mach 1 Spider-Man or whatever he got in Civil War. And now he just now made his OG original red suit,
which is very shiny on me.
I think that was CGI, but that's just me.
I mean, just wanted to put that out there,
dude. That's what I'm saying. But like, my whole thing is with this movie. It was so beautifully written, but there's so many questions. If me and you were writing this movie, all right, millions, billions, trillions of dollars, we made all this movie, okay? Where would you want it to go the next route?
After No Way Home, leaving from No Way Home.
Post-credit scene, actors, actresses, everything like that. You know, we still have a lot of shit we haven't done. Where do you want to go with it? You can go step by step. Does it have to all be at once?
We kind of do have to see what Multiverse of Madness goes.
Oh yeah, the second post-credit scene with Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange. Yeah, absolutely.
That actually might play into Spider-Man a little bit more. Just so much. And then we don't know what the post-credit scenes are going to be from there.
But humor the audience here, okay? We're not going off of that. Just No Way Home. Just No Way Home. Don't go off the post-credit scenes. Don't go off the trailers. Don't go off anything. You ended No Way Home. We just finished No Way Home.
So are we including the end scene?
We'll include Tom Hardy's post-credit scene. Not Doctor Strange. Not Doctor Strange.
Well, one, we need to ask ourselves. Okay, so taking a step back, we knew when Venom got transported, when all that happened, Let There Be Carnage, he went to Tom Holland's world because we saw him on the news. Mm-hmm. So he's there. Mm-hmm. When they got sent back home, he went back to his world, his universe. Mm-hmm. Whose Spider-Man universe was he in is the question, because it's not Tom Holland's. But since we're not going that far forward, we're just going to stop at the fact that the symbiote was left in Mexico.
Write the script.
The symbiote
Write it.
Is going to have to... The symbiote took over the bartender because it needs a host.
Yeah, it needs a host to move.
He took the bartender.
Yeah.
But... No, because that's not enough. The symbiote can thrive on its own, but not for long. That was a little piece of the symbiote, which means it won't last long without...
It's hopping around.
Without a true host to latch onto and grow.
Yeah.
But once it does that, then it can shapeshift into Venom and then walk around on its own. That's just a little tidbit from there, from the comics. Unless it can grow without a host. But other than there,
come on.
Tom Holland has an Eddie Brock.
We're definitely going to meet him in the next movie.
Yes, he has an Eddie Brock. Or we're going to get Flash Thompson. But it's too soon for Flash Thompson. Unless that Flash Thompson just feels the need to just go into the military at this point.
He's also, remember how obsessed he was in the movie with Tom Holland.
We're getting Flash. We're not getting Eddie Brock. We're getting
Tom
Flash.
Holland is getting Flash. Okay.
We're getting Flash.
Go ahead. I agree with that. Tom Holland. I agree with that.
Then we're going to get a squabble with that. From there, we're going to go into Anti-Venom.
I was thinking the same thing.
We're going to get some more timeline exchanges.
We need Black Cat and the Hobgoblin. We need some
filler
space.
Yeah,
we need some filler space.
Yeah, we're going to get Black Cat and Hobgoblin.
We need some filler space.
Black Cat and Hobgoblin. Mm-hmm. They're going to fight for about 1 or 2 movies. They're going to mess with the universe again.
They have to.
Honestly, Tom Holland, and I hope this happens. But everything that's happening, we're going to end with Null.
I would love Null to be in Tom Holland's universe. That'd be the money. That would be the friggin' money, dude.
We already have
that was the case.
We have the Eternals who introduced the Celestials.
Yes. And the Eternals are MCU.
Yes.
They're not Sony. So, yes.
We're ending with Null. I would love for them to end with Null.
Dude, if we get Null. So, do you think Null might be in Tom Hardy's universe with Andrew Garfield and we get the King in Black? Because they're soloing the Venom movies. I would love for a King in Black movie. But there's so much that goes into that. And he needed to be MCU oriented with that. And with that being said, this movie, guys, this movie was great. No Way Home was great. And my whole thing is we're we're trying to chain it to the comic books. And also, too, this movie is, like, if you're an OG Spider-Man fan, you are going to love this movie. Take the kids to see it, everything like that. I'm totally with it. I totally get where you're coming from. This whole movie was an emotional roller coaster ride. And we can't give it enough credit. We're just theorizing this whole video. But I'm not mad about it. Because, like, I'm like, there's so much we can do with Spider-Man. There's so much we can do with Spider-Man.
So much.
So much. And I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, what about this? Well, what about that? Well, what about this? And what about that? And I feel like this movie kind of... Here you go. Think about it. And we're not going to get another Spider-Man movie for like another 2-3 years.
Think about it.
Oh, God. It's giving me a headache, but like a good headache. Like, what, like... I totally get where you're coming from on it, because you are more comic book oriented than me. And hell, that's why we created the show. And, you know, with this movie and everything going on, and like plot armor, they took away the Stark Industries stuff. They killed Aunt May. They got to collab with the other Spider-Man. They did the spell, forget on Peter Parker, and everything like that. And with these villains, and they have the antidote to neutralize all the villains. But they still got sent back to the universe. So, like, technically they may be dead, not be dead, but they could also be summoned again. Is like, we still haven't gotten the true Sinister Six yet. Mm-hmm. And you know what? If they're bringing villains back, Tom Holland killed one of the Sinister Six. Not him personally, but...
Who's that?
Mysterio. They haven't done a true Sinister Six movie because we only got 5 of them. And they cameoed William Dafoe as Hobgoblin. He was Hobgoblin.
Pretty much.
So okay then. So like, we need this. We need all these things to happen. We need all these things to go through with. I mean, you've already said so too with your knowledge and your prowess. Like, if we're gonna write this movie, all right, obviously, you know, contingencies, you know, things happen, people die, but the good guy wins. Okay, what did he win? You know, and they needed to chain it into the next movie. Meanwhile, Miles Morales' movie is following suit across the Spider-Verse. I did say this, though, to my boy Brian. I am a little upset that Miles met Miguel O'Hara before Peter Parker. Just because of plot.
Told you. It's always...
Well, but it makes sense with the MCU. While the 3 Peter Parkers are dealing with this, what are the other Spider-Men and women doing?
Because now that Gwen Stacy's dead, we really don't get Spider-Gwen.
But with Into the Spider-Verse and these spells showing that there's other, and even at the end when Doctor Strange is like chaining all the spells together and like trying to refix everything, you see a little bit of everybody. Mm-hmm. You see like the OG Rhino, Scorpion, Venom, Hydra. You see like a lot of the villains, but you also see a lot of the heroes too. You know? And I'm pretty sure, you know, Spider-Ham's out there, Spider-Gwen, Spider-Noir, Spider-Man 2099. Like, they got triggered by this movie too. But we won't know until the Miles Morales movie comes out.
Yeah.
Because they're going across these timelines, and they're going out, and they're going in, and they're going out, and they're going in, and...
Well, see, now it's something to pay attention to, because with the Loki show...
The Quantum Realm too. Yes.
Is this
Yes.
Is this movie post Loki? Is it pre-Loki? Is it during Loki? Mm. Were the spikes we were seeing in the Loki movie, would Spider-Man have created some of them?
I'd say no. The reason why, one word, magic. Magic. Not science. Magic. Because remember when Andrew Garfield came into to his scene when he debuted, he jumped up on the thing, and I did love that with Ned's grandma, and she was like sitting there like, you know, talking. I think she's Filipino, and she was like talking or whatever, and then she's like, yeah, can you get the cobwebs and everything up like that? And and Zendaya threw the donuts at him. She's like, do the tingle thing. I can do it, but just not for bread. Like, why are you throwing stuff at me? You're not a threat. Yeah. You're not a threat. And also, too, I want to point out, too, when he astral projects Peter out of his body, Tom Holland's Peter Parker, and the animal reflexes take over, and he's trying to get the box from him, and he's like, how are you doing that? The animal reflexes, I was like,
Spider sense.
Just say spider sense. It's not the Peter tingle. It's spider sense. Trust your tingle and just go. And I'm like, just say spider sense, bro. Spider sense.
But it just goes to show you just how powerful the spider sense is.
Dude, that's
the only person that can get around it is Venom.
Venom and somebody else I can't name right now, but somebody else as well. But yes, so when that whole thing occurs and he's talking about, he goes, oh man, string theory, interdimensional space, time travel, and he's like confirming it to them. He's like, this is amazing. This is awesome. And I was like, okay. And like, oh, the spell. And he's like, spell? Magic's real here too? Mm-hmm. You gotta take that into factor. You gotta take that into factor too. Because Tom Holland's universe has Doctor Strange. This Spider-Man has already been exposed to the rest of the MCU. Magic is real with Tom Holland. And we have to, and you're right, we have to see the Doctor Strange movie. Because is he just gonna fucking, like, zzz, across everything? Is he gonna be the one that's kind of like the gatekeeper?
Well, in a way, Doctor Strange is the gatekeeper.
He is not the Sorcerer Supreme, but by technicality.
He eventually becomes it. I forgot what you have to do to become it.
He wasn't in his first movie, and in the Avengers Endgame, but he was away for 5 years, and then Juan got designated as it, but had to leave to go to Shang-Chi.
Forgot about Shang-Chi, honestly. It's because his post-credit scene. I don't know if you're looking for me to say something.
Well, the rings, though, too, though, as well. That's a whole other topic. But, like, Spider-Man right now. How would you want all this to end at the end of the day? At the end of the series? Would you like all the Spider-Man to come together and get the Spider Wars?
Spider Wars.
Is that how you think this is gonna end? Because I'm getting that vibe. All of them come together? Live action though, not animated. Live action. And you know what? You don't even have to hire anybody. They're just gonna be wearing suits the whole time.
Honestly, it's just gonna be... I didn't mean to huff, because I didn't mean to come that way. It's just gonna be a constant passing of the torch. It's just gonna be Peter and Miles. Miles into 2099. 2099 into God knows who else. That's why I said Spider-Man is more so resolves than an actual like fairy tale ending.
It's a dark universe, man.
Yeah.
If they were to make money though, they're gonna end it with Miles.
You can think about it. Iron Man technically didn't end, he died. Captain America technically didn't end, he just got old. Black Widow didn't end, she died. Hawkeye didn't
My
end.
bitch did.
Hawkeye didn't end. He just passed the torch down. It's just going to be a constant, just resolves and passing of the torches and different groups. Like I said, now they're just going with the Young Avengers or the New Avengers. Especially since you have like.
It's gonna be New Avengers. It's gonna be New Avengers for sure. Because they're trying to build that Phase 4 /
Not
Phase
to
5.
mention old girls building the Dark Avengers.
The Dark Avengers, yes. And then we haven't even got the She-Hulk series yet.
So, don't get me started on Hulk. Hulk just doesn't end. It literally doesn't. Like, literally what they're going to have to do with Hulk, they're going to have to switch over to Maestro because Mark can't do Hulk forever, and you can't just keep switching out Hulks just because Mark gets old and you need to just. You're gonna have to go into Maestro. For those who don't know who Maestro is,
Maestro's broke.
He's just a Hulk who doesn't go back to his human form. He stays the Hulk.
He's broke.
So from this point, after a while, they're just gonna go into the Hulk that never reverts back. Hulk is just gonna be CGI. Anytime a new CGI happens, it's going to be tested with the Hulk because that's where the Hulk is going to be headed.
Totally agree with that. It's like, I think that honestly, like just us being diehard fans and nerds, and we have this channel. I feel like all of our theories, I think we're just more basing everything off of these theories, and we don't know where anything is going, but we're just like speculating. And this movie was so damn good, but this is also why it opened up all these possibilities and questions. Mm-hmm. I will give you that at the end of the day. Like, my friend, we're going on Anime and Beer. This is our first episode of the new year. And, I mean, who wouldn't want to know this stuff? Who wouldn't want to know anything about this stuff? Because
people who go around turning off their boyfriend's PlayStation when that's all they have.
Well, you're a husband. I'm single, so I don't know.
My wife would never. T would never.
But I mean, I don't know. One more thing before we close out, my friend. Anything you got on your mind?
Comic books matter. Comic books matter, and comic books matter. Damn, I was gonna say something else.
Go ahead, lay it in, dude. Lay it in.
Something about comic books matter. Comic books matter.
But like, definitely, if you haven't seen No Way Home yet, and you made it this far into the video, whoa, you just listened to two nerds rant about possibilities.
And one fog up his side of the room.
Yeah, pretty much. At the end of the day. But, if you haven't seen No Way Home and you're tuning in, go see it. Phenomenal movie.
We just wait for the DVD.
Yeah. Or digital download. So if anything, you guys think like something went well, something didn't go well, you have a possibility, you have a different way of how things may turn out in the MCU. If you think something else should have happened, if we didn't mention something with the movie or comic book or anything, let us know. Make sure you hit that bell for notifications, like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, obviously. And hey man, Spider-Man No Way Home, 12 out of 10. What did you give it?
I want to change my
You want to change it now at the end of it?
I want to create a new account.
You want to create a new account? Look at him over here in these stunner shades, like he's powerful or something like that. Okay, Doc Ock, I see you over there with the shades. Go ahead.
I give it a 12.
You gave it a 12? Then I give it a 13. Anyway,
I give it a 14.
It was a phenomenal movie. Friends and family, go see it. It was great. Great. But let us know what you guys think in the comments. And like I said, Anime and Beer, we talk about the latest manga,
comics,
anime,
movies,
you name it.
didn't know you were gonna do that at the end, man.
Yeah,
you just said it. You said the intro, not intro.
Yeah, I know. But I have to. Tune in next time, guys. Till then, anime and beer. We out.
Comic books matter.